mynews.studio.
Under the desert sun, we're seeing solar panels outnumber cattle in some parts of Africa. Is this the world's next big energy frontier?
Today's date is February 16th, 2026. Ellie, Africa just recorded its fastest solar growth ever, a 54% jump in 2025. That's 4.5 gigawatts of new solar capacity. What's fueling this rapid expansion?
The shift is really coming from two fronts. On one side, there are large utility-scale projects, often backed by public funds, bringing power to cities and industries. At the same time, millions of households and small businesses are putting up affordable rooftop systems, especially as battery prices drop. This two-pronged growth is making solar accessible for people who never had steady electricity before.
So, we're not just talking about huge solar farms in the desert, it's also individual homes and small businesses getting on board.
Right. Exactly. Distributed solar, like those rooftop systems, now makes up about 44% of new installations. That's mainly because imported solar modules, mostly from China, are cheaper, and batteries now let people store power overnight. South Africa, Nigeria, and Egypt led the way, but Morocco and Zambia also crossed the 100 megawatt mark. Were you expecting this kind of spread across countries?
Honestly, the speed is surprising. But let's dig into the hurdles. Financing in Africa is still much steeper, sometimes 3 to 5 times higher than in places like Europe or North America. How are projects managing to move forward despite that?
That's a tough one. Most of the money still goes to big grid-connected projects, not so much to the small distributed systems. But things are starting to change. Governments are adjusting policies to stabilize regulations, encourage risk sharing, and offer loans in local currency. Some are also making it easier to get permits and improving how they track solar imports to collect better data. Do you think these changes are enough to make a real impact?
I'm not sure it's enough yet, but it's a move in the right direction. There's another issue: the grids themselves, instability, a shortage of skilled workers, and shifting policies. Are we seeing any real progress on those fronts?
Yes, there's movement. Countries are investing in grid upgrades, making planning more transparent, and setting fixed tariffs to attract investors. There's also a focus on local manufacturing and training workers. South Africa, for example, has job training programs to build up their workforce. But why does all of this really matter for people's day-to-day lives?
It matters a lot. Take South Africa. Over 1 million homes now have rooftop solar. That means fewer diesel generators, fewer blackouts. People have better health, kids can study at night, and new businesses can open. There's also a big rise in jobs, especially for installers and technicians. Have you looked into the pay-as-you-go solar models?
Yes, those models are vital for affordability. People pay in small installments over time, so even remote communities can get access to solar. And with local manufacturing ramping up in places like Nigeria and Egypt, Africa is not just using solar technology, they're starting to produce it themselves.
That's an important shift. So it's not only about clean electricity, it's also about economic growth, making communities more resilient, and even leapfrogging fossil fuels. Would you say Africa is setting a model for how to decarbonize in other parts of the world?
I'd say yes. Africa is showing that emerging markets can lead the way in renewables, cut costs, and build local industries. But it's about more than just the technology. It's also about fairness and adapting to climate risks. Do you think this could shift the global conversation on energy?
If Africa is making this work, with all the challenges, what's holding other places back? This isn't just an African story, it's a lesson for everyone.
Africa's solar momentum is changing economies, communities, and even how the world thinks about energy.
Thanks for listening. Today we unpacked Africa's solar boom, the challenges to scaling up, and what it means for both local communities and the global energy landscape.
Thank you for joining us. This episode was brought to you by mynews.studio. You can try it free today.